You finally scrape together your first $400 for an emergency fund. 2 days later, your car's check engine light comes on. The repair bill? $450. And just like that, in a single afternoon, your emergency fund vanishes like it never existed. The worst part isn't losing the $400. The worst part is, you start to believe that no matter how hard you try, it's useless. Why even bother? You sigh, ready to throw in the towel. If this sounds familiar, listen to me. The fact that you're always broke is not because you're lazy or undisciplined. It's a design flaw in human biology, combined with a financial system built to pick your pocket. The proof? A 2024 Bankrate report shows that 56% of Americans are stuck in this exact same trap, unable to cover a $1,000 emergency with cash. And we're not just talking about low-income earners. People making $80,000 to $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck too. In today's video, I'm going to expose the truth behind this and show you a dead simple financial architecture to break the system and escape the broke loop forever. You've probably heard finance gurus like Dave Ramsey screaming on the radio, baby step 1, save $1,000, cut up your credit cards, deliver pizzas at night, sell your stuff. It sounds super motivating, but they forget how brutal the current economy actually is. When rent eats up 40% of your income and groceries cost twice as much as they did 3 years ago, just stash away $1,000 sounds like a bad joke. Their advice accidentally plants a toxic belief in your head. If you can't save, it's because you lack discipline. But science tells a completely different story. Let me explain why saving money goes against our very biology. In behavioral psychology, there's a concept called present bias. Simply put, for thousands of years, our ancestors' brains were wired for immediate survival. If you found food, you ate it. You didn't stash it away for retirement. And today, your brain operates the exact same way. It will always prioritize instant rewards, a nice meal, or a shiny new gadget to distress after a long day, over some vague emergency that might happen 6 months from now. But it gets crazier. There's a mind-blowing study by Professor Hal Hershfield at UCLA. He put people in an fMRI brain scanner to see what actually happens in our heads when we think about the future. The results shook the financial world. When you think about present you, a specific part of your brain lights up. But when you think about future you, the you in 5 or 10 years, that area goes pitch black. Instead, a completely different part of the brain fires up. And do you know which part? The exact same area that lights up when you think about a complete stranger. Mind-blowing, right? Let that sink in. Biologically speaking, to your brain, future you is literally a stranger off the street. So when a financial expert tells you to skip a good meal today or pass on those shoes on Amazon to save for the future, your brain translates that as, wait, why should I give my hard-earned money to some random guy on the street? That is why the emergency fund is always at the bottom of your priority list. You didn't do anything wrong. You're just using your tiny bit of willpower to fight millions of years of human evolution. But hold on, even if you realize your brain is playing tricks on you, you're still going to fail miserably. Unless you understand something I call the willpower battery. Let me show you how it works. Looking back a few years, my saving strategy was ridiculously naive. It looked like this. Paycheck hits on the 1st. I pay rent and utilities. Whatever is left in my checking account is for groceries, gas, and eating out. And I'd make this firm promise to myself. At the end of the month, whatever money is left over goes straight into savings. Sounds perfectly logical, right? But guess what? There is no such thing as leftover money. There's always a sudden wedding you have to attend, or an Amazon Prime Day with deals you just can't resist, or simply a terrible Tuesday where you come home exhausted. Look in your empty fridge and say screw it before swiping $35 on DoorDash just to comfort yourself. The money simply evaporates before the end of the month even arrives. And again, I've been there, and it's not because we're weak. Psychologist Roy Baumeister calls this ego depletion, or more commonly, decision fatigue. He discovered that human willpower is not an infinite resource. It works exactly like your phone's battery. You wake up, battery at 100%. You sit in traffic, drop 10%. Your boss yells at you, down another 20%. You deal with a dozen tricky emails, there goes 30%. By 6 p.m. when you drag yourself home, your willpower battery is sitting at 5%. And right at that exact moment, when your brain has to choose, put $50 into the emergency fund or get a good meal to feel better, a brain running on empty is 100% going to choose the instant reward. So if you build a financial plan that relies on you consistently making the right decisions at the end of the day, you are running a system designed to fail. Using willpower to save money is a battle you simply cannot win. So if willpower isn't the answer, what is? Well, the biggest enemy quietly draining your wallet every month isn't your eating habits or your lack of discipline. It's an invisible force that 99% of working adults fall victim to. In the productivity world, they call it Parkinson's law. This law states, work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. And it applies perfectly to personal finance, often known as lifestyle creep. Your spending will always subconsciously expand to perfectly match your income. Think about it. When you just graduated and were making $50,000 a year, you were scraping by. You told yourself, man, if I just make $90,000, I'll be rich and I'll save so much money. Then you actually hit $90,000. Wait, why are you still struggling? Why is that? It's not like you went to a dealership and bought a Ferrari. You just subconsciously upgraded your lifestyle a tiny bit. Instead of Walmart, you do the classic $100 Target run just for organic groceries. Instead of driving a beat-up car, you finance a safer new one. You rent an apartment with an in-unit washer and dryer for convenience. None of these are bad things, but those tiny invisible upgrades added up and swallowed your entire pay raise without you even noticing. I call this the money loop. Your money is flowing into a pre-installed pipe. The moment your direct deposit hits your checking account, it drops into an environment waiting to suck it dry. Autopay subscriptions, Amazon's one-click buy button, food delivery algorithms. These were all designed by the smartest minds on earth to create the path of least resistance for you to spend. The money flies out of your pocket before you even have a chance to consciously decide to keep it. Your environment was built to make you spend, not save. So, stop forcing yourself to build more willpower. What we need to do is build a completely new environment. And if you want to win a game that's rigged against you, you don't just try to play better. You change the rules. You need to set up a new financial architecture where keeping money becomes the default, effortless action, and spending it becomes super annoying. This will only take 15 minutes. Let's do this. Step 1. Cut off the water at the source. Stop waiting for the money to hit your checking account and promising to save some later. Next Monday morning, log into your company's HR portal, whether it's ADP, Workday, or Gusto. Find the direct deposit section. Instead of letting 100% of your paycheck flow into one account, add a second account. Set the system to automatically slice off exactly 5% of your pay, or a fixed $50 or $100, and send it straight to that second account. You won't even see that money hit your main spending account. Out of sight, out of mind. This is where Parkinson's law flips to work for you. Your brain will automatically shrink your lifestyle to fit the remaining 95% without you feeling a thing. But where you send it is the real secret. This is step 2, adding psychological friction. The biggest mistake people make is opening a savings account at the same bank as their checking account. If you use Chase or Bank of America, and your emergency fund sits right next to your checking account on the same phone app, you're doomed. You see a nice pair of shoes, you swipe your finger, and the money moves from savings to checking in 1 second. It's too easy. Instead, you must open a high-yield savings account, or HYSA, at a completely different bank. Online banks like Ally, Marcus, or SoFi are perfect. Why? First, their interest rates are around 4 to 5%, not the laughable 0.01% traditional banks give you. And second, here's the kicker. Transferring money from that online bank back to your Chase account takes 2 to 3 business days. That delay is pure magic. If your car actually breaks down or you have a real medical emergency, you just swipe your credit card and pay it off 3 days later when your savings transfer clears. No big deal. But if your so-called emergency is just a Best Buy flash sale ending tonight, that 3-day waiting period will completely kill your impulse. And remember, never install that online bank's app on your phone. Make taking money out of your emergency fund incredibly annoying. You are protecting your money from yourself. Bottom line, building an emergency fund was never a test of your morals or your willpower. It's simply about rerouting the plumbing of your life, making sure the fresh water flows into a safe reservoir before it evaporates in the heat of temptation out there. If you spend 15 minutes today setting up an automated $50 transfer to a faraway account, congratulations, you just beat 56% of people out there. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to live a miserable penny-pinching life. You just need to change the system. There is a profound quote by James Clear in Atomic Habits that is my ultimate financial North Star. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So, stop beating yourself up for being broke in the past. Stop using willpower to fight millions of years of brain evolution. Forgive yourself, drop that guilt, and start re-architecting your system today. But hold on. Once you've got this emergency fund shield, once you have that soft cushion to catch life's unexpected falls, we have to face the final boss. And it's way more dangerous. It's not a random car repair bill. It's a machine quietly sucking your blood every single day, sugar-coated with convenience, status upgrades, and shiny reward points. Yes, I'm talking about the ultimate trap, credit cards. Even if you think you're a smart credit card user, their system is designed to ensure you lose in the long run. In the next video on your screen, I'm going to expose exactly how credit card companies manipulate our psychology, and most importantly, how to completely break that ruthless loop and take your freedom back. Click it right now. Go set up your system, and I'll see you over there.